This is lesson 2.1. It's called Drawing Wumps, and it's all about similar figures. So discovering similarity within figures. We've talked a little bit about this in class the other day, and we're going to extend this knowledge today. So down at the bottom, I'm going to write the learning target. I can identify similar and congruent figures based on side lengths and angle measures, with the emphasis on similar figures today, not so much congruent. So, up at the top, we have Zach and Marta want to design a computer game that involves several animated characters. Marta asks her uncle Carlos, a programmer for a video game company, about computer animation. Carlos explains that the computer screen can be thought of as a grid made up of thousands of tiny points called pixels. To animate a figure, you need to enter the coordinates of key points on a figure. The computer uses these key points to draw the figure in different positions. So everybody has played a video game or seen some sort of computer animation in their lives, and this is how they're made. So they actually start with points, and then the computer generates these points to create the figure. Sometimes the figures in a computer game need to change size. A computer can make a figure larger or smaller if you give it a rule for finding key points on the new figure, using key points from the original figure. So, this rule is what we're going to use for each of these different characters that we are going to plot on a coordinate plane. They're going to have a different rule that you follow. And then it's going to either create a similar figure or it's not, and you have to figure out if it does or does not based on the shape, the size, and angle measures. So, 2.1, here we go. Zach and Marta's computer game involves a family called the Wumps. The members of the Wump family are various sizes, but they all have the same shape. That should sound familiar. Same shape, different sizes. This is the definition of similar figures. So, Mug Wump is the game's main character, Mug. Okay? By enlarging or reducing Mug, a player can transform him into other Wump family members. So we're going to start with Mug's coordinates and then create the other characters based on rules. So Zach and Marta experiment with enlarging and reducing figures on a coordinate grid. First, Zach draws Mug Wump on a graph paper. Then he labels the key points from A to X and lists the coordinates for each point. Marta writes the rules that will transform Mug into various sizes or different sizes. So, your task. Marta tries several rules for transforming Mug into different sizes. At first glance, all the new characters look like Mug. However, some of the characters are quite different from Mug. So, what you're going to do is you are going to, first of all, graph Mug. So if you turn the page, you're going to have coordinates right here. These coordinates are the coordinates of Mug Wump. What it tells you to do in the directions is you are going to plot the points in order, connect them as you go along. Okay? So you're going to connect all of these points together. So you're going to plot the first point and then you're going to connect it to the next point. For instance, if I were to do A, I would say 0, 1. There's 0, 1. B is 2, 1. So with a ruler, I am going to connect the 2 points. Okay? So I'm going to use this as my straight edge or a ruler. I would suggest you get a ruler. Okay, I'm going to connect those 2 points with a straight edge. I'm going to go to the next point. 2, 0, which is down here. We're going to connect those two. You're going to continue on this path and just go straight down this list, okay? You're going to stop where there's a gap. And then you're going to pick back up so you won't connect this point to this point. This is where you start fresh again. So you're going to start here. You're going to go 2, 2. You're going to plot it. You're going to connect it to 6, 2. And then you're going to plot the next one and you're going to connect it on, okay? So these you all connect. These will all be connected. These will be connected. Alright, and then these two will just make dots. They're going to be the eyes of the shape. So the first thing you're going to do is go ahead and graph mug wump. Once you're finished with that, you're going to come back to the coordinates. You're going to use these coordinates for your base. Okay? So part B, for each character, use the given rule to find the coordinates of the points. For example, it gives you an example right here, okay? For Zug, you're going to do 2 times X and 2 times Y. So here's your X. This is your X. This is your Y. So you're going to say 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 0 is 0. So all I'm doing is multiplying the X and the Y by 2 for Zug's coordinates. Alright, you're going to go all the way down the page. Alright, the next